The Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is the Jared Dillian Show. You want to know what grinds my gears? You know, if I sat around and tried to think of ways that I could destroy the country, I would not do a better job than what they're doing right now. So, what is going on? Well, we are giving out free money. We've done it 3 times, and we're doing it in a lot of different forms. We have the stimulus checks, and we have the enhanced unemployment benefits where people are getting paid more to stay home than to work. We also have these child benefits, which I don't know a lot about, but allegedly some people are earning several $1,000s a month for this. So why work? What's the point? You know? And I don't blame people who are staying home because it's a rational economic choice. You're getting paid more to stay home than to go to work. Then why would you go to work? You know? You do what makes you the most money. So we're destroying this country, you know? Because one of the things I like to say is that, first of all, the government should not be in the business of nudging people or incentivizing people or manipulating people's behavior. It's not the role of the government. The role of the government is to set up a set of rules, free markets, property rights, stuff like that, and then get out of the way. Okay, but we should not be nudging people to do certain things. But to the extent that we do that, to the extent that we nudge people to do certain things, we should be nudging people to work, because work is good, right? Look, there's populations, there's countries in the world where people don't work and you have some problems. Saudi Arabia has basically, it's a universal basic income. They have a lot of oil revenue and they give it out to the people. And the average person in Saudi Arabia gets $70,000 a year from the government. And they have a lot of unrest in their population. They have terrorism, you know. So if people aren't gainfully employed, they kind of sit around and think up ways to cause trouble. Okay. It's not, and the other thing about this is when you're handing out free money, it's not like people are satisfied. It's never enough. It's never enough. They'll be asking for more money. I've read so much stuff about this in the last couple of days. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So, anyway, if I wanted to intentionally destroy the country, the first thing I would do is try to destroy the work ethic. And I would pay people not to work. If I were trying to destroy the country on purpose, that is what I would do. I am broadcasting live from fabulous Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is a vacation town. We've got a lot of hotels and a lot of restaurants. The hotels can't find housekeepers. The restaurants can't find cooks and servers because everybody's at home. And some crazy stuff is happening. I mean, you have hotels where they can't check people in. They can't check people in because they can't clean their rooms fast enough. You have people checking into their hotel rooms at midnight, and they're furious, but there's nothing that can be done about it because they have to clean the rooms. It's a problem. It's a problem. So nobody is coming to work. They're all staying home. And I don't blame them. They are rational economic actors. You know, how can I call these people lazy? It's not a matter of laziness. They're doing what gets them paid more. We are destroying this country little by little, and it's going to get worse. The second thing I would do if I were to think up ways to destroy the country is I would punish success. I would punish people who are successful. And the more successful they got, the more I would punish them. And what we are doing is we're rewarding failure and punishing success. It should be the other way around. We're rewarding all the wrong types of behavior, and we're punishing all the wrong types of behavior. This is bad. This is a great country we got here. And I don't talk about politics on the show, and I've said before that I'm libertarian-ish. So when it comes to economic issues, I'm on the right. When it comes to social issues, I'm usually on the left. But when it comes to economic issues, I am very much on the right. And if I were in charge, if I were president, what I would do is I would lower taxes on the high end and I would raise them on the low end. I would go back to the marginal rate structure that we had in 1988, when the first $20,000 of income was taxed at 15% and income above that was taxed at 28%. And by the way, $20,000 in 1988 is about $80,000 today. So I think that's a pretty good tax system. 15% taxes up until $80,000 and 28% taxes above that. And you're like, but what that would require is a big tax hike on lower income people. And yes, that should happen. That should happen. Everyone needs to have skin in the game. Everybody needs to pay something in taxes. The fact that we don't tax half the population is bonkers. Other countries don't do this. This is bad. There's a newsletter writer named Dennis Gartman, and he kind of identified this trend about 15 years ago. And he says, we're going to get to a point where the half of people that don't pay taxes are going to vote for higher taxes on the upper half. And we're there. It's happening. It's happening. The bottom 50% of taxpayers have no income tax liability. They pay payroll taxes, but not income taxes. And a lot of people are like, well, they pay payroll taxes. Look, 6% I would not exactly call pitching in. And by the way, that 6% is intended to be for your Social Security. It doesn't contribute to running the country, so you're still not contributing, okay? I would like every person in this country to pay no more than 15%. And I would like no person to pay more than 28%. In California and New York, people are paying well over 50%. And I think that just violates a very basic principle of fairness. If the government is taking more than half your money, I would say that's not fair, no matter how much money you make. It just violates the principle of fairness. I find that offensive. Okay. And for the record, my effective tax rate, if you take federal and state, it's in the high 30s, and I find that offensive. We want a system where we reward success and punish failure, not the other way around. I don't agree with the central tenet of a progressive tax. I think we should have a flat tax or something close to a flat tax like we had in 1988. If you have a progressive tax, you have these situations where someone could be paying 400 times as much tax as the person standing next to them. And why should the responsibility of paying for government fall on just a handful of people? Why is that fair? You want to talk about fairness? Why is that fair? Why don't we all pitch in together? Anyway, everybody has different ideas of what's fair. Okay? And some people think that inequality, just the fact that some people have more money than other people, they find that unfair. Inequality exists for a number of different reasons, but it primarily exists because people are unequal. Some people work harder. Some people are smarter. Some people are more ambitious. Some people are better at building an organization. There are a lot of very good reasons why some people have more money than other people. And then you say, well, it's luck. It's just pure luck that some people are rich. I saw that on a Facebook post a couple of years ago. Somebody posted that. There was an article. It said, yeah, the rich people are all lucky. That's what it is. It's just all luck. So, oh my goodness. What about privilege? Does privilege play a role? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I worked on Wall Street, okay? So I could tell you stories about working on Wall Street where most of the people I worked with were from a wealthy family in the tri-state area. They came from a long line of people who worked in the financial industry. And that happens for a variety of reasons, which are too complicated to get into here. But basically, privileged kids are from that culture. They know what to wear. They know how to dress like a banker. They know how to talk like a banker. They know how to act like a banker. It comes naturally to them because that's the environment they've lived in their entire life. Do we have systemic inequality? Yeah, the answer is yes, but not as much as you think. There is this phenomenon, which has been well documented, that wealth is mean reverting over generations. Okay, so one generation makes money, then their kids lose it, and then their kids make it back again. The parents are wealthy, the kids grow up privileged and squander it, then the grandkids make the money again. It happens in this cycle over and over again. It is actually, this dynastic wealth that gets passed down over 6 generations, like the Rockefellers, that's pretty rare. Look, there's unfairness everywhere you look. Life is not fair. Life is inherently unfair. But people don't get what they deserve. They just get what they get. And you have to be able to practice acceptance. Acceptance is the answer to all of our problems. If there is something that offends you in the world, you should accept that thing as exactly as the way it is supposed to be right now. We should focus less on what we can change about the world and what we can change within ourselves. So you think it is unfair, you're not getting paid as much as you should, then why don't you do something about it? You can get a raise, you can get a better job, you can start a business. There's all kinds of things you can do. If life is really unfair to you, then go out there and beat the odds. It's all about personal responsibility, something that is disappearing. We are responsible for our successes, and we are responsible for our failures. I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.